Hey y'all, happy Thursday. I'm super excited to be back with y'all. Today, I want to talk about healing so your business can grow. So, this is something that I don't think is talked about enough in business. So, today we're going to talk about healing so your business can grow. So, if you don't know me, my name is Shanta Prince. I work with high achieving professional women. I help them to take their expertise, their gifts, their knowledge, and all the things, all of the work that they put in over the years, all the education, all the experience that they have, and I help them to turn it into a profitable coaching business. So, a lot of what I deal with is mostly women. I do work with a few gents, but mostly women who are stepping into a new invention of themselves. They're stepping into a new phase of life, which is, starting a business is a very new thing. It's a very exciting thing, but it can also be a very challenging thing, right? Those of us who have been in business long enough, we know that starting a business can be a challenge, but I feel like not enough of us are talking about the process of healing when we're stepping into business, because many times we just think about the business, we just think about the business side of things. And sometimes we try to compartmentalize things, like we try to separate our faith from our business, from our personal life, and really we're only like we're one person, right? Yes, we have a body, we have a soul, we have a spirit, but we're one person. And so all of that is bundled up together, and sometimes we don't realize how much our experiences, our past experiences, are showing up in impacting our businesses today. Now, those impacts can be great, they can be positive, but they also can stop us and slow us down from achieving the kind of success that God wants us to be able to achieve. And so the thing is, when it comes to healing, when I talk about healing, I don't mean from like a sickness, or like like most of us got hit with COVID, right? I'm not talking about like that kind of healing. I'm talking about healing from experiences in life that have impacted you in a way that is showing up in your business daily, even if up until now you haven't recognized that this thing is showing up and it's impacting your business. So our past experiences, past failures show up many times over if we don't heal from those things. So let me give you an example. So I always talk about how when I first started in business, I struggled to sell online. Like, it was a huge struggle for me. And this is why I talk about it so much now. I talk about how to sell online, how to be successful with closing those sales. But this was something that I struggled with initially. And it was stressful because I needed to make money, but yet I was struggling to sell online. And I launched a program, and the program didn't sell. And I had worked so hard at this program. Like, I worked hard to put this thing together. And I was just so sure that I was gonna, get a return on my investment, because I had spent money to make this thing happen. I spent a lot of time. And when I launched it, I didn't close any sales. And so I was so discouraged that I literally kind of crawled under a rock, y'all. Like I crawled under a rock, and I did not sell for a very long time online because my soul was so crushed. I was like, oh my gosh, I put all the sweat and tears into this thing only for it to not be successful, only for me to not close any sales. Now, if you've heard me, if you have been connected to me for any amount of time, you may have heard me say that I wish someone had told me that if you launch something and it doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out, launch that thing again. And you keep launching it until you get the kind of results that you want. Nobody told me that back then. So I thought that when I had launched this thing, I thought it was a total failure because I didn't sell. And so for a long time, I was showing up online, and I was still like, doing my content and things like that. But I was like, I'm not selling anything, because I was trying to protect myself from experiencing that type of feeling again, of feeling like I had failed. And so that's an example of what I mean by like healing, because that was something I needed to heal my heart from and understand that it's just a part of business. And so now I'm so thankful that I'm able to prepare my clients and to help them and to guide them along the way. You guys, it's so much easier when you got somebody alongside of you to show you, hey, listen, what you're experiencing is totally normal. When my clients are like, oh my gosh, this didn't work, or this didn't happen the way I wanted to. Hey, Renee, this didn't happen the way I wanted it to. I'm like, this is normal. What you're experiencing is totally normal. But I'm also able to tell them, hey, what you just accomplished is really amazing, because most people aren't able to accomplish that in the time frame that you did it, or by the way that you did it. And so understanding that, ups and downs are a part of life. It's a part of it's a part of everything that we do. So it's definitely a part of your business. But the beautiful thing is when you have a circle, when you have a network of people who get it, we understand, we've been there, we've done that, to hold your hand or pick you up. We need to be picked up and say, okay, listen, you're just experiencing the normal parts of business. When one of my clients, when we worked together, she within 2 weeks of us working together, we created her program, and by the end of those 2 weeks, she had her first nine sales. That is amazing. Nine sales in 2 weeks, with no ads, right? She did not use any ads, and so that is amazing. And so she talked about how, oh my goodness, it was exhausting. And I'm like, yes, that's how it is sometimes. Like when you're first getting started, sometimes you got to put a little bit more effort. You got to put a little bit more effort to get things going and get those wheels turning. But I'm like, that's just a part of it. But you just accomplished something that's amazing. And I'm like, now you know how to sell. I'm like, when you know how to sell, that is one of that's one of the most amazing things you can learn. And I feel like so many people, when it comes to growing a business, a lot of people are good at all the things around selling, but when it comes to selling, there's a hard stop because they just don't know how to sell. This is why I emphasize this so heavily with my clients on how to sell. My clients, I've taught them how to sell, close a sale in the DMs, how to close a sale on the phone, how to close a sale in the launch. These ladies know how to close a sale, and it makes me so proud when I see them out there and I see them getting new clients and I see them launching their programs. It really blesses my heart because being able to sell is what you got to learn how to sell, right? If you're gonna have a business, you got to know how to sell. But let me tell you, hey Brandy, but let me tell you, you guys, sometimes when you've been through things in life, it shows up in your business when it comes to you selling, right? Your past experiences can keep you from making money. Like with the example that I just told you about myself, how I crawled under a rock and I was like, I'm not selling anything anymore because I don't want to get my soul crushed anymore. So I'm just not gonna sell anything, right? That's an example of something that I wish I had known then. I wish I knew then what I know now. But that's an example of something that we all have to heal from those things so they don't show up and keep affecting our business. And another thing with my clients that I'm seeing on a regular basis is, you guys, I'm always bragging about my clients because they are just that good. My clients are amazing. I really enjoy working with them. They inspire me every day. And they are very well accomplished. Every last one of my clients are very well accomplished in their own right. And but the thing is, sometimes when you go through life experiences, sometimes you forget how awesome you are, right? Sometimes you forget how amazing God created you to be. And sometimes you just need to be reminded, like, yes, I went through that, but God is good, and He has given me these gifts. He has called me to this mountain. He's equipped me to do the thing that He has called me to do, right? And sometimes you just need that reminder, like, okay, you know what? I got this. I can do this. But I will tell you, one of the biggest things that gets in the way of women entrepreneurs being successful is their past experiences. So when I crawled under my rock from when I had that failure with selling, that was impacting my bottom line. It was impacting my ability to make money. But guess what? It still happens today with a lot of women. They have something that they've been through, whether it's a divorce or whether they lost a job or whether they've had a fallout in a relationship. It could be a number of things that have happened. It could be a past failure, maybe something you felt like you failed at this thing, and now you feel like, well, if I go all in my business, what if I fail, right? What if I fail at this thing and I put my all into it? Those things can hinder you and keep you stuck. It takes you being intentional about healing and recovering from those things. One of the things that I'm always praying for is for God to help me with my mindset and to deal with the everyday issues of just living, you guys. Life alone is just hard, right? Life is just tough, right? Some days I have to turn off the news because it's just so much going on in the news that I just have to turn it off sometimes so I can focus on what God is calling me to do. Brandy says this is on time. Thank you, Brandy. Amen. So the thing is, you guys, let me give you another example of how I experienced something in life that was showing up and keeping my business from growing. So some of you already know that I am very prophetic, right? And I walk in the office of a prophet, and I don't really announce that. I don't go around, slinging titles or anything like that. But usually, what happens is, when someone sees me ministering, they recognize the prophetic gift, right? So I don't have to say anything. I don't have to announce anything. I don't have to use a title. But when I speak, you're going to be able to see the gift. And I also prophesy to my clients. When I see something that God is doing, or what God wants to say, I prophesy to my clients. And this is something that we welcome. We welcome on our sessions. If there is something that needs to be said, then I release it. And so because of that, you guys, and I hate to admit this, but because of that, y'all, like, there's just so much jealousy in the church. And for me, I was always kind of caught off guard by it, because I'm like, the truth is everybody can prophesy, right? The truth is everybody can prophesy. So for me, I'm just like minding my own business. I'm coming to the Bible study. I'm coming to get the word just like everybody else. But meanwhile, people were hating on me and I didn't even realize it. And it was because I walk in the prophetic. And a lot of people did not. And so because they did not, then I came off as intimidating to them. And a lot of times, you guys, it was the leaders of the church who I was getting this heat from. Y'all, if I told y'all all the stuff I've been through in the church, like, we would be here crying. Like, first of all, we'll be here all day, but second, we'll all be crying. But there was a specific service that I was in one time, and there was this guest preacher there. And he literally, you guys, he called me up. You know how people do in the church. They call you up, they give a prophetic word. But he really used that to try to humiliate me. And I'm so glad that my husband wasn't in the room at the time, because my husband probably would have like went off. But he really used that moment to humiliate me and try to belittle me in front of the congregation. But it was clear to me that the pastor and he had been talking about me. And so his goal was to come, he's a guest speaker. His goal was to come and belittle me. And it was, y'all, the stuff that he said, y'all, like, it was very inappropriate. But the way that I was trained up in the prophetic is that it is not the spirit of God to call somebody up and humiliate them, right? That's not in the spirit of God. I don't care how you put it. You can call it correction, you can call it this, you can call it that. That is not the spirit of God to humiliate people like that. Okay. And so when I see people doing that, and they try to, put it under, oh, it's the apostle, or or whatever, that is not the spirit of God, right? And so because of that, see, I believe that every attempt that comes is usually an attempt to steal your voice. It's an attempt to silence you, right? So if I'm called to speak, if I'm called to be a mouthpiece for God, right, the attack on me is to silence my voice, which is the very thing that I'm called to use, my voice. And so for many of you, you are called to use your voice. You got a message, and when you speak, it's going to unlock destiny in the people who you're called to serve, right? Your words have the power to unlock someone else's destiny. And so the attempt was to silence me or to steal my voice. Y'all, it took me years in business. Now, this is outside of the four walls of the church. It took me years to really stand in the authority of my voice because of what happened to me in church. Okay. So this is an example of what I mean by, like, you have to be on purpose about healing so that you can do what God has called you to do, right? There's an attempt on your voice. There's an attempt to silence you. There's an attempt to keep you quiet. But God has called you to use your voice. And so you got to be intentional about saying, okay, listen, I need to heal from that. You start feeling like, okay, listen, I know I'm called to do this thing, but I don't feel worthy to do it, right? That it shows up as unworthiness. It shows up as imposter syndrome. You feel like, well, why should I do this? Or I don't have enough qualifications. This is why so many women get stuck in a cycle of going to school, going to get another certification, going to get this degree, going to get that degree. And really, you're already ready to serve people right now. You're ready right now. You don't need another degree. You don't need another certification, right? You're ready right now. All you need is a program, right? You need a program and a way to get paid, right? And I teach on how to do that. Renee says, since you are singing my song, I know this all too well. Yes. Oh my goodness. It's such a misuse of all. I agree. I agree. And so the thing is, I love what Renee said. So when someone is misusing their office and their leadership and their God-given gifts, right? And so because of that, yes, like these things happen to us. And sometimes we're not responsible for the things that happen to us, but we are responsible for our own healing. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. We are responsible for our own healing, and we got to keep that in mind. So throughout this week, I want you to just really just pray about this and just ask God to show you the areas where you need to heal and you need to recover from some things, you guys. And this is an ongoing thing, right? Because things even happen in business that we have to heal from on a regular basis. Sometimes we hire people and then we have to let them go. Like I've had some experience because I have, some of you guys know I have other businesses. I've had some experiences with my other businesses that were a little bit shocking. Like, oh my goodness, like, okay, like where did that come from? How did this even happen? That I have to constantly be aware of what's going on in my mind and in my emotions and in how I'm showing up because of this specific experience. So this is not like a one-time thing, y'all. It's like an ongoing thing. Like every time you experience something that's soul crushing or that's painful, really partner with God and allow God to help you to heal through those things. I'm one of those people, y'all. I believe, I know it's a cliche when people say, "Oh, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger." I believe that, y'all. I believe that life experiences, when we are intentional about recovering from those things, about learning lessons from those things, I do believe that life experiences do make us stronger. And sometimes, what people meant for bad, right? God can turn that thing around and use it for good. And so now, look at me now, you guys. I told you that there was an attempt to steal my voice. Now I help other women to walk in their voice. I help them to take their message and package it in a brand that they can actually go out and build powerful, profitable brands, create amazing programs, and change the lives of other people. And I'm so passionate about it because of what I've been through. And so when I see other people struggling with that, I'm able to identify it quickly and help them to overcome it. So one of the things is pricing, right? A lot of people struggle with pricing, and a lot of times it's because they just don't feel worthy to charge those types of prices. So I'm able to help them work through some of those things so they can charge and charge for their services accordingly. Because y'all, at the end of the day, we're in business and we got to be profitable. We got to be able to make money, right? Otherwise, you don't have a business. If you're not making money, you don't have a business. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. I'm doing so much better, you guys. Usually I'll come on here and it's like I'm on here for like an hour, but I know y'all are busy. So I said I was gonna try to cut back on doing those 1 hour sessions and make them shorter so you can easily digest them. And sometimes I know you're on your lunch break and some of you are driving and things like that. So I want to make it brief, but I want to make it rich for you so you can get what you need to get and you can keep on moving and go about your week and have an amazing week. Okay. All right, you guys. So I do have some announcements coming up. I have another masterclass coming up for those of you who have been to my masterclass. My repeat, my repeat attendees who come to the masterclass. I'll be releasing the next sign up page for the next Brand to Sales Masterclass. I'm super excited about it. So I want you to come back and make sure you sign up for the Brand to Sales Masterclass. I'm gonna be teaching for 9 days, y'all, and I'm gonna tell you when I come on here on Thursdays, I try not to go an hour, but listen, when we're in a masterclass, I'm probably going to be going for an hour, an hour or maybe more. But I try to keep it at an hour when we're in a masterclass, but I have so much to teach you guys about building your brand, creating your programs, closing sales, and being in business for the long game, right? I teach long game strategies. I don't teach how to, those get rich quick overnight schemes. I teach you how to be in this thing for the long haul and how to build an amazing brand online. So that's a lot, right? So I got a lot of stuff to share during those masterclass. So, but it's really an awesome time. I give a lot of information for free, y'all. Yes, I do offer you an opportunity to join my program, but I'm not that pushy type of salesperson. I feel like if you know it's for you, you're going to come in and join us. And if it's not for you, then that's okay. Maybe another time. So you're welcome to join it. I'll be putting the link out next week. So when we're live next Thursday, I'll be putting the link out for you guys to go ahead and jump in that masterclass. Other than that, you guys, I know it's still October, but I got some really awesome stuff coming up for Black Friday And also around Christmas times, y'all know that this is my favorite time of the year. So stay tuned for some of those sales and some of those offers that'll be coming up at that time as well. And other than that, Renee says this is great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, Renee. I hope y'all have a beautiful Thursday and have a wonderful weekend, y'all. And I will see y'all back here next week at the same time in the same place. See you again soon. Be blessed.